market reports, and agricultural news, it receives the same attention and credibility. Farm Radio Connects offers agricultural advertisers targeted access to this engaged audience through professionals who understand both broadcasting and agriculture. According to the National Association of Farm Broadcasting, 78% of farmers consider information from farm broadcasters highly trustworthy. When you need to reach rural America effectively, choose the voices they already trust. Visit IllinoisFarmRadio.com and discover how Ag Radio can elevate your agricultural marketing strategy.
Taylorville Care Center's personalized therapy program helps you get back to enjoying the season. Whether it's pumpkin patch visits, Friday night football, or autumn walks with the grandkids, we'll get you moving again. Click their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com to learn more.
I'm Brandy Bruley, Superintendent of Taylorville Schools, where we promote student success. At North School, we're renovating the former wrestling room into classrooms, a conference room, and storage. Find out more by clicking our icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. Go Tornadoes.
WTIM. You're listening to the WTIM Morning Show on your information station. The show is sponsored by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Reed Kamai, in for Grayson Bauman this morning. If you're looking for something to do tonight, the University of Illinois Extension here in Taylorville is going to be hosting a class all about making appetizers. Then they put on some good classes. I have a feeling this one will be no exception. And I feel like Lisa Peterson, nutrition and wellness educator with the University of Illinois Extension, feels the same way. And Lisa joins me this morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, no, great to have you in here. Well, let's just get right into that appetizer class. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so I'm very, very excited about this. We've had a great partnership, the University of Illinois Extension and Taylorville Memorial Hospital. We've been doing classes about quarterly with the hospital. And tonight we're focusing on the holidays. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to make appetizers. So essentially snacks for when it comes to the holidays. And we go through in this class kind of the quantity food side, how much you should make. We don't want to deal with too many leftovers. We kind of walk you through hors d'oeuvres versus canapes, which are like open face sandwiches, versus crudité platters, which are the vegetable platters and dips. So of course, with all of our classes, we are making recipes. So I love these classes because it is an opportunity for community members to come together and we get to cook together. So we put you in small groups. And tonight, I actually do have the list of what we're making tonight. We're going to do a peppermint truffle, which is actually made using dates, which is a little bit more unique. We're going to do a Mediterranean dip. We're going to do a cucumber canapé. We're going to do some caramel apple grapes and then a caprese salad kebab. And we do give you way more recipes than that, but that's what they'll be making in their small groups. And then people kind of walk around and taste test. This class is really fun because it is an opportunity for people to talk about how we make adjustments for health. So with the holidays, there's a myth that you gain 5 to 8 pounds. That's not the case. Most people gain roughly about a pound. The problem is we don't lose it over time. Yeah. So it's kind of getting into that side where how do we make sure we're going fruit and vegetable forward when it comes to the holidays? And we're not telling you can't have a traditional, those foods you always make for the holidays that maybe are higher in fat or higher in sugar. It's just about moderation. So it's figuring out how can we incorporate them, but still having fruits and vegetables in there.
Well, I love that you're able to incorporate the taste testing in there. So you mentioned that people are going to be divided into groups, and then you have 3 or 4 different recipes.
Yeah.
So is it like each group is going to be assigned a recipe?
Yep.
Okay, nice.
And a lot of people come to my classes now have kind of gotten the vibe of how it works. Like we talk for the first 30 to 40 minutes, and then typically people show up early and they'll go walk around and see what we're making. And that way they know what group they're going to migrate towards.
Oh,
and
that's right.
We do make enough where I do tell them, we make enough where everybody can sample. So if you don't end up in the group with the one that you're going to love, that's okay. You're still going to be able to taste everything. But that's kind of the fun of it. And I love it because, again, it brings our community together. It's a way that people can talk to each other and get either ideas. I know we get in this slump around the holidays where we always make the exact same things. So what else can we try? So this is kind of giving you a few opportunities to try different things, which is really fun. And like I said, we are going to talk a little bit about how do you make adjustments for allergies. You have a family member who has a peanut allergy. You have a family member who has diabetes. You have a family member who has heart disease. How do we make small adjustments so everybody can enjoy all the food? So we do kind of dive into that in this class as well, just for those chronic disease issues, because again, we want to make sure everybody has food to eat.
That's right. And so trying to think of where I was going with this, right? So I think it's great that you're able to show people like different food options because you can have that repetition, especially for folks who typically host, right? So they're the ones putting the food together.
Yep.
And then people can get, sometimes you just need a little bit of inspiration. Maybe you need to see someone, like you show them the way, or other people in their groups kind of show them the way. So I think that's really neat. Then you get to try it out at the end.
Yeah.
I think what you were talking about with accommodating for other people's needs really helps as well. Diabetes is one of them. We'll actually talk a little more about that in just a bit. Now, do you find that, or would you say at least, that these sorts of recipes are things that are sort of exclusive to the holidays, or are they maybe more typical recipes with maybe a little twist, or is it more regular thing? What is it?
So it's kind of a mix. I mean, we talk about peppermint truffles. Typically that's more of peppermint's more of those holiday type of foods. But of course you can always leave the peppermint out and just do a truffle and use the dates, and everything goes in a food processor. It's like 4 or 5 ingredients. It's very, very simple. That's the other thing too with these classes is I never expect someone to come in and know how to cook. So we try to keep these recipes very, very simple. They're all things you can buy locally. And they're typically, depending on the class, I'll prep some of it to help save us a little bit of time. So again, I never want someone to not show up because they feel like I don't know how to cook. That's fine. Come on to our classes. We'll walk you through everything. I mean, we say it enough in extension. There's no such thing as a stupid question. So because everybody has different experiences. And again, that's the idea of the community working with each other. So I always joke, I teach them how to cut an onion without crying. That's one of the little skills that I got from grad school.
You need the goggles.
Yes, where you don't need to. And it's the way you cut the onion actually prevents you from tearing up. And so I walk them through, depending on the class, I'll walk them through that. And that's one of those tried and true like techniques that we learn in classes like that, where I can teach it. And then people are cutting onions like crazy now because they're not crying. So kind of fun things like that. We get those little techniques in these classes as well.
Yeah, I'd love to know how to do that because I have goggles and I still cry. Although I will say certainly less than I might otherwise.
Yeah.
So that's coming up, and then time and location again for our listeners.
Yep. So the holiday appetizer class is 5:30 to 7 p.m. tonight, and it's at Taylorville Memorial Hospital, and it's in their meeting room. If you're not sure where that is, it's in the back of the hospital. My suggestion to people is go in the front door and ask, and they'll kind of lead you to where you need to go. But they do have, it's in parking lot 4 is where you're going to park, and that's behind the hospital, and the room is right there. But again, if you have any questions about how to get in, you just go to the front desk. And we do ask you sign up. Easy way to sign up is call our extension office here in Taylorville, and we'll get you signed up. The class is completely free. So we just need to know a number. It gives me an idea of how many handouts, how many appetizers, things like that. But I'm very excited.
No, it sounds exciting. So you've got that to look forward to, and it's happening tonight. Mm-hmm. So listeners who may be interested know about that. Now, we mentioned diabetes earlier. Mm-hmm. Now, is this month National Diabetes Awareness Month?
Yes.
So talk about that.
So November is what we consider National Diabetes Awareness Month. I mentioned this in this class tonight. We will talk a little bit about making adjustments for diabetes. So things like using non-starchy vegetables for your appetizers. So things like broccoli, cauliflower, celery, things that won't raise your blood sugar quite as much. Why is November National Diabetes Awareness Month? It's really to tell people kind of what to watch for symptoms. So we have a lot of different types of diabetes. We have type 1, type 2. We've got the pregnancy version of it as well. But the ones we really focus on are those first 2 types. And that's type 1 and type 2. Type 1 is where your body is producing no insulin at all. Type 2 is where your body doesn't know what to do with it. So, but kind of common symptoms we see with people with diabetes is urination, like going to the bathroom a little bit more. You're very, very thirsty. You might have blurred vision. You might be feeling really tired. You're noticing slow healing. So if you cut yourself and you're not healing quite as fast as you normally would. Weight loss. That's what people don't realize. That could be a symptom of type 1 diabetes. So if you're like, well, I'm eating all this food, but I'm still losing weight. Why is that? And that is something, go visit your doctor. Go get tested for diabetes for that. If you're experiencing pain or numbness in your hands or your feet, that's typically a sign of type 2. So again, things to really watch for this month. I mean, you should watch for it every month, but especially in November as we try to bring a little bit more awareness to type 1 and type 2 diabetes.
Yeah, so it sounds like, the month is kind of your opportunity to get the message out there.
Yeah.
And it's worth talking about with the symptoms, right? Because, we think of diabetes, we think of it happening, or at least the type 2 part of it happening as a result of eating foods that tend to lead to a weight gain. You talk about a weight loss being a symptom. I obviously don't doubt it.
Yeah.
But it seems like plenty of warning signs, at least for the possibility of diabetes, it seems.
Yep, and that's one thing. Like we've seen a rise in diabetes, and a lot of people, that's what they associated with this type 2, where lifestyle changes do play a role in that, where we can often be pre-diabetic, and we often say you can't always prevent diabetes because genetics does play a role. So if you have a family member who has it, you're at a higher risk. But that's one thing where if you are being a little bit more cautious of how much you're eating or the amounts and your lifestyle, how active you are, you can delay. And that's one thing we talk about. You can always prevent, but you can delay symptoms or issues with diabetes as well. You can actually go to diabetes.org/risk test and actually find out if you are at risk. And they'll give you a little survey you'll take, and it's good information to know. And again, the more we know, the more we can take care of our health.
That's right. And diabetes is something that, a lot of people don't like to talk about. Certainly when it comes to having it.
Yeah.
I think it sounds like this campaign is certainly a good way to start the conversation and help people actually get a little more comfortable with talking about it.
Absolutely. And that's the idea of it. And we always say it's not just the person who has diabetes who is dealing with it, it's the family members too. I mean, personally, I have a sister who's a type 1 diabetic, and I've grown up with it. And that's something where, again, the entire family learns how to carb count. We learn what symptoms to watch for. If she starts acting a little funny, we know what to look for, where you need to step in. So we do offer classes with extension on diabetes. I'm hoping to do a few more in the new year where we talk about how to eat with diabetes. That's the big thing that we focus on in extension. But you can always go to our website as well, go.illinois.edu/diabetes, and learn more about how to get diagnosed. We go into the food side of it. We have recipes on there. And if you have questions, always call our extension office. Yeah.
And that is Lisa Peterson, nutrition and wellness educator with the University of Illinois Extension, talking about that, and even just talking about it right now is something that I'm sure would help a lot of people, feel comfortable talking about it themselves and looking into that sort of thing. Well, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll have more with Lisa Peterson right here on the WTIM Morning Show on your information station.
Your information station, WTIM.
Let's check the markets now on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Right across the board with corn, beans, and Chicago wheat. December corn down 4 1/4, 431. March corn down 3 1/2, 446. May corn 454 1/4, down 4. November beans $11 even, down 19 3/4. January beans down 19 1/2, 11.14 3/4. March beans 11.25, down 17. December wheat 539 1/2, down 15 1/4. March wheat down 13 1/4, 554 3/4. December bean meal down 10.90, 313.90. December bean oil down 11 cents, 49.58. Livestock trade November feeders down 572, 320 even. December live cattle down 217, 218.35. December lean hogs down 85 cents, 79.25. Energy market December crude oil 59.09, down 54 cents.
Of the 2024 construction projects by Christian County Business Tax by utilizing the county's enterprise zone. Through the efforts of the Christian County Economic Development Corporation over the past 20 plus years to establish and grow the county's enterprise zone, new and existing businesses in the county can save significantly in sales taxes. Find out how they can help your business by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. The Christian County Economic Development Corporation is moving Christian County forward.
This is Bill Pinkston, General Sales Manager at Landmark at Taylorville. Fall into huge savings on the remaining 25 models. Right now, you can get a new Chevy Silverado Crew Cab 4-wheel drive for only $39,182. That is a savings of $13,000. New Buick is 6 months, and no payments for 90 days to get you through the holidays. Combine that with our lifetime powertrain warranty. Why would you buy anywhere else? All roads lead to Landmark at Taylorville. And remember,
You always do better at Landmark.
Hi everyone, Nicole Patrick here, your local country financial representative at 1305 West Bresser in Taylorville. I'm proud to recognize the Tornado student athletes that represent our community by being the exclusive sponsor of the WTIM Nicole Patrick Country Financial Player of the Game. During Tornado Sports broadcasts this school year, WTIM announcers will select a player at the end of each game who will receive a certificate for being named our Player of the Game. Good luck to all the teams this season, and go Tornadoes!
Carl Krumsick here from Krumsick Monument Company in Taylorville, Illinois. Find out the many services we provide by clicking our icon on the obituaries page of TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
This is Blaine Cornwell with Prairie State Insurance. To learn more about our products and services, click our icon on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
WTIM.
Welcome back to the WTIM Morning Show on your information station. We're sponsored by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Reed Kamai, and I continue my conversation with Lisa Peterson, nutrition and wellness educator at the University of Illinois Extension. Now, we're thinking about the holidays, of course, maybe thinking about what to make in terms of both the December holidays and Thanksgiving. Actually, we got Thanksgiving first to think about. Maybe you're trying to figure out what you're going to make. I know I am. So, Elisa, where can folks go? You've got a little resource to help them through that.
Yeah, so this is something, it's one of our favorite times of year. This is where we get a lot of questions about food safety that I answer, as well as kind of what some of the health benefits of what we're eating, things along those lines. For those who are very new to making a turkey or looking for side dish recipes, we do have a website with Extension that we've updated in the last probably year or two. We've been updating it. But if you go to go.illinois.edu/turkey, very simple, or just Google University of Illinois Extension Turkey, you'll get to our website. And this website is your go-to for anything with dealing with your turkey, the bird, or how to store leftovers or side dish recipes. But we do get into kind of the thawing process. How much should you buy? Cooking the turkey, safe ways to do that, so you don't end up burning your house down when trying to air fry your turkey, things along those lines. We also get into the nutritional side of things. One of those big questions we often get asked is white meat better than dark meat, and things along those lines. And give you a very basic understanding of that. Yes, white meat is going to be our leanest. When we talk about the bird itself, have less saturated fat. However, that dark meat, even though it is a little bit higher in that fat and cholesterol, still has less than red meat. So there's still definitely benefits to the dark meat. It's got iron in it, zinc, B vitamins, things we often struggle with. A lot of times when we talk about the holidays too, it's portions. How big of sizes of food we're eating. So again, thinking about when we talk about meat, protein should be about the size of a deck of cards. Your serving should, so about 3 ounces or so. People, when they're trying to watch for maintenance of weight when it comes to the holidays, my suggestion is when you sit down to eat, the first thing you eat are fruits and vegetables. It's when you're the most hungry, it's going to fill you up the fastest, and then go for the other things. So yes, you're getting in the nutrients that are going to help give you energy throughout the day, but you're still eating mashed potatoes. You're still eating that turkey. You're still eating the stuffing. Your just first focus are those fruits and vegetables, because again, it's going to give you the most nutrients when we talk about eating for the holidays and kind of weight maintenance during this time of year.
So yeah, a lot to think about there.
Yeah.
And, I was thinking earlier when you were talking about the portion sizes, trying to have the right size in all of that. And if I would think if it's larger, maybe that 5-pound weight gain you were talking about earlier does happen. So that is certainly something to think about. I want to also get into another class you've got coming up. I think it's what you've got next month, the charcuterie class. And that could be helpful for maybe hosting folks for the holidays. Talk about that.
Yes, I'm very excited. This will be about my 3rd or 4th one of the season, but we're doing a holiday charcuterie class December 11th. It is at Pena Hospital at 10:30 a.m. So I'm very excited. The Pena has been another excellent partner with us with Extension. And we always say we're after the same thing. We want to help our community be healthier, get people together, talk about nutrition, talk about food. But this class we are going to have the groups practice making charcuterie boards. So that actual literal translation means a pork butcher shop when we talk about charcuterie. However, what we're doing is meat and cheese. Of course, that is a focus on this boards, but also fruits and vegetables. So we have you practice and we have you make a charcuterie board. I do teach you how to do the salami roses that we put on there to make it look pretty. But again, we eat with our eyes. So what we look at, we're going to eat. So we do focus on making sure we're getting fruits and vegetables on there. This class is really focused on cheese as well. So I talk a lot about kind of the lower fat cheeses, lower sodium cheeses. We do talk about storage of cheese as well. And we also talk about those with lactose intolerance. So these low lactose cheeses like cheddar, Swiss, Monterey Jack, mozzarella, things you can find again for dietary purposes. So because cheese is typically higher in salt, higher in sodium, and higher in fat, we find a moderation with it. So how do we make sure that we're able to enjoy it, but we also have those fruits and vegetables on there as well?
And you talked about, going towards the fruits and vegetables first, earlier on in the meal. And so if you've got a charcuterie set up at a gathering, it helps you do exactly that. Well, we're in the final minute of this show. So again, that charcuterie class, you said it's December 11th?
Yep, at Pena Hospital at 10:30 a.m. And to sign up, you just call the Pena Wellness Center and they'll get you signed up completely free.
Awesome. So you folks do a lot of collaboration with well, you mentioned Pena Hospital. Obviously, you have Taylorville Memorial Hospital for that appetizer class happening tonight. So, great that you're able to collaborate with them. And it makes sense that you have, obviously those similar missions. This is Lisa Peterson, nutrition and wellness educator with the University of Illinois Extension. Lisa, thanks for coming on this morning.
Thank you.
And thank you for listening to the WTIM Morning Show on your information station. The WTIM Shelbyville Morning Show will be on tomorrow morning at 8:40 right here on WTIM.
WTIM.
The Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylorville. 96.1 FM Taylorville. 107.5 FM Shelbyville. 107.9 FM Pena Nokomis.